Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Witches and Wine. I am your hostess, Lola Stardust, and this is the show where we talk about witchy stuff and we drink wine. Clink and drink, clink and drink. Oh, she's got a nice, bold-looking red. So before we start our show and talk to this beautiful woman that is on the camera, I want to do our disclaimer. This show is called Witches and Wine, and sometimes we drink a lot of wine, and it makes us it's truth serum. It makes us silly. It makes us maybe say things that other people may not agree with. And if that offends any of our viewers, I want to let you know there's this really cool thing, and it's called the X on the screen. So you can just click on the X in the corner of the screen, and you don't have to watch us. It's so simple. So before we get started, I would like to turn it over to my partner in crime, my husband, my high priest, Silent as Stardust. Why don't you tell us about the wine we're drinking tonight?
All right, well, I'll be happy to. Thank you. Tonight, guys, we've gone back to France.
Oh.
We're in the Loire Valley, and I'm going to make sure I pronounce it correctly tonight.
Oh, okay.
So it's a Chateau de la Roulerie.
Roulerie.
Very elegant wine. Chenin Blancs can go from bone dry to almost sickeningly sweet as a grape, and it's how the winemaker wants to use this one. This one's a little bit higher acidic and a little bit drier, the way we like our white wines here in our house.
Yes.
Really, really crisp citrus, peach, and apricot notes. It's going to run you about $15 a bottle. Excellent pairings for foods would be like a salad, nice green salad, or a really light shellfish dish.
Shellfish dish?
Shellfish dish.
Shellfish dish. So not the gumbo tonight that we had.
Gumbo would be a little big for this.
Okay, we had gumbo earlier for dinner, and it was awesome, but not a gumbo wine, but still good.
Yep. So that brings us to our lovely guest tonight. We've seen her before. The lovely, the beautiful, the talented Belladonna LaVeau.
Yes.
And we have her on for a special reason. We have a big festival coming up. And I'm going to go ahead and let Lola take it over from here. And I might see you guys later in the episode.
He has to go and pick up our responsible 17-year-old who is working hard for his money at a Halloween store, which we love because we get a great discount. And he's got more in his savings that sometimes we do. So yay for son. All right. Thank you, honey. All right. Let's get to Bella. Bella, welcome to the show. This is like you are like a VIP on our show. This is like your fourth, I don't even know, but you're like, you might as well be just part of the staff here at Witches and Wine, which is just two of us. Welcome, Bella. And for those who don't know who Bella is, can you just introduce yourself real quick?
Hey, well, I am very fun, obviously, because I am a regular on Witches and Wine. And that's what that means, because Lola knows how to bring the fun.
We do.
I'm Belladonna LaVeau, the Archpriestess of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church and Dean of WiccanSeminary.edu. And I'm so glad to be here. And congratulations for a responsible 17-year-old. Clink and drink.
Clinking to raising good kids.
So my wine was grown in the gardens of Asphodel.
Yes.
On the western bank of the Styx River.
Ooh.
Gathered by the Dream King himself and squashed by the fairies and their little bitty toes and pressed into this one glass where we shall drink of its magic tonight.
Oh my goodness. Well, that, my friends, is some magical wine, and I'm jealous, but you know, Veritas, what is it? Vino Veritas. Vino
Veritas.
Vino Veritas. Wine is life.
Actually, Dusty etched this glass. Can you see?
Kind of. A little bit, yeah.
He etched it. And yeah, as you drink it, you can see more of it. But it's got grape leaves on it for Dionysus. Really nice. Grapevines and stuff like that.
We've got our Dionysus right here.
Yes.
We got Bacchus. And that's how you have to say when you've had a little too much to drink. Bacchus.
Bacchus.
All right, Bacchus. So we're going to talk about one of my favorite festivals because it's Hekate, and she is, it's Hekate.
She is all there is.
She's the all mother. She is of the crossroads. She is everywhere. She is everything in between the liminal spaces. And the ATC has been doing their spring mysteries for 30 years now?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is Hekate
35.
35 years. And then this is what year for Hekate Sickle? It's like
32.
30?
I don't know. I think it's 32.
Yeah. It's been around. It's been around.
It might even be 35. I don't know, because the 30th anniversary was when we had Baba Yaga, and remember we had there were like 30 gods there, and then so I think this is like 35, 36, something like that.
Yeah, and then Spring Mysteries is a little more than that, but yeah, this is the real deal. This is not a festival that was just born like a year ago. This has been going on a long time. And with Spring Mysteries and the COVID virus going around, ATC, Aquarian Tabernacle Church, was one of the first to decide, let's put our festival online. And oh my God, like we were all I was like, how's this going to work? Oh my God, what are you talking about? And it was fucking amazing, just amazing. So in carrying on with that, they decided, well, all right, let's do Hekate Sickle online. And I'm really excited. I'm on the staff yet again, which I love to do. I'm workshop coordinator, so I have a great time. I rub elbows with the cool guys and the cool witches. I do. Anyway, so Bella, why don't you tell us, it's going to be online, why don't you tell us what this year's theme is for Hekate Sickle?
So Hekate Sickle Festival is an organic magic festival. We do 2 festivals a year. Our matron is Hekate, and Demeter is the other side of Hekate, right? Hekate sits on all worlds. Demeter kind of stays in Eleusis, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Demeter is the earth itself, but the Spring Festival is very strictly Eleusis. Every year we're going to do that. That's not good. Like, we might have a variation on the focus, but it's always going to be Eleusis.
Yeah.
So the other side of that is Hekate, and it's magic, and it's fluid, and it's liminal. And so we wait every year after Spring Mysteries, and we pray, and we're like, Hekate, what messages do you want us to bring to your people? Right?
Yeah.
And every year it's like people are like, what are y'all doing? And then by the time we get there, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe how cool this year. Last year we did Fortunas, and they were like, oh, Fortunas again. And Fortuna was like, I'm going to be very big in the fall at the fall time. And Hekate was like, this is going to be really good. Trust me.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, well, we're not going to bring the Joker. We're going to have the Jester, and we're not going to have the Joker. And so they put out a Joker movie when Hekate Sickle was out. And then there were 3 other onstage performances of Fortuna happening at that time in Seattle. And there was Cirque du Soleil was doing Fortuna stuff, and we got to go see her in Vegas. It was incredible because, when Hecate's like, this is what we're going to do, it just comes out. So this year we get the Endless. We had no idea Neil Gaiman was republishing the audio books for the Sandman series, which we were already starting to read online. I'm like, we're just so in tune. But here's the thing. We never do this. Like, it was so easy for us to switch to an online festival because of the school, Lola. You were assistant dean of ministry for a good many years. You know how we just shifted gears. Okay, we'll go this direction. And it was fine. We had no problem at all. Our people, well, they're incredible vessels, and they're really well-trained vessels. And we have the 40 years of the ATC behind us with this momentum. So they did beautifully. I'm so proud of my people.
They always do
So
wonderful.
proud of the people of the ATC, right? But when it comes to this fall, we're like, what are we going to do online? Like, what are we going to do online? And then it occurred to us that we've been doing online magic for a very long time with Sacred Cauldron and Wiccan Seminary. And I've watched people since the internet came out doing online rituals of various degrees.
Yeah.
And so the goddess gave us technomancy. And we were like, well, that's really interesting. What pantheon? And then Skyfae was like, what about the endless? And we were like, oh my God, we already do Land's End. I mean, y'all are like, what's Land's End? And we read the story of World's End in the Sandman series to explain that it's at the end of land. And Samhain, we're at the end of the land and we're going into death. We're going into the water, right? So that's why Hekate is Land's End. Anyway, I mean, we don't want to steal his idea completely and call it World's End because it's, it's the end of land and we're off into dream world. I was like, oh my God, the endless is so perfect because it's the faces of Hekate. Well, Dusty Dion and Donna Dion have a little thing for D's anyway.
Of course you do. It's like me with L's.
Yeah.
I like L's.
But there's death, which is definitely a face of Hekate. And then there's desire, which is definitely a face of Hekate.
Yeah.
There's despair, delight, destruction, destiny, and dream. All of these are Hekate. Yeah, they're faces of it, but they're not a pantheon. They're the endless. Like they're not related to a culture. They're concepts. They're anthropomorphic theological concepts.
Well, Neil Gaiman is he's never. I don't think he's ever come out and said he's pagan. He writes pagan shit.
Well, he says that he is a comparative theology major.
Yeah.
Which is what I am too with the wheel, Yes. So we speak the same language already anyway, and weaved inside his novels are all these god forms, American Gods. Neil Gaiman wrote that. I mean, he's incredible. Anansi Boys, and so he really speaks to our generation and our people. He speaks to the magic of right now, and what we need, Lola, is magic right now, but we can't do it together. And so technomancy, and science fiction.
So
science fiction expands our minds.
Where'd the science fiction come from? Because I understand the endless and all that, so the science fiction part.
Well, science fiction expands our minds. We have been trying to think in new ways, and science fiction gives us those ways. Starhawk with Dream in the Dark, and pagans have constantly put forth these concepts in story because it's easier for us to grasp it.
Yeah.
So last year we had Fortuna roll the dice and give us an opportunity to get rid of the things that were no longer serving us, right? And this year we're going to dream a new dream. We're going to create a new future together.
Yes.
So on Thursday night, we're going to get together and we're going to do the normal ancestor appreciation and seance and all of that kind of stuff and honor our sacred dead. But we're also going to get a character sheet and we're going to get separated into clans. Now, when we hear character sheets, we think, oh, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. But it's more like a tool to help you figure out where you're at on your path right now. It's not, it's got some game. I mean, because, I told you that I was the head of fun because that's why, you keep having me here on your staff.
And I work with you.
The fun.
Yeah.
So it's some fun. Like you're going to get points for doing different things in the festival, which will be incredibly fun. But it's more about figuring out who you are and what's going on with you magically and putting that on paper.
Well,
and so as we did.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, hon.
as we develop through the weekend, different workshops and different rituals are going to have components that you can add to your character sheet so that you can work out notes and stuff like that. So it's not going to be, rolling the dice and going after a bad guy. It's going to be using that concept of technomancy and science fiction and the way gamers think, to deconstruct the complicated things in your head and help you get more basic, down to earth, rooted in your organic magic. And then we're going to dream a new dream together.
And how I was envisioning it, and I'm glad you explained that, because I'm not a gamer. Okay, my kids are, so I know about gaming through my kids. But and of course, being a witch, we all have our nerdy stuff, if you want to call it nerdy or not. But I've hung out with gamers. I've hung out with the Dungeons and Dragons people that play. But I personally am not that way. But I really enjoy the idea of creating a character, because I view it as we go into the underworld and how it's our avatar. So how do we want to create almost like our next life? Kind of, is it kind of like that? And
so we're going to create a new reality. Who do you want to be in that reality? Do you want to be this exact same person? Because if we're going to have a different world, like at Hekate Sickle, we do magic that changes the world. At Spring Mysteries, we do magic that changes the individual at Spring Mysteries, right? Mm-hmm. But it also ripples out within the world. And at Hekate Sickle Festival, we do it on a more right now, what's needed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, you're going to have to re-envision how you're going to function in a new reality. And the Endless are going to be there to help just bring the magic and peel those layers away and bring in the technomancy. And we're going to do a lot of dream work. We're going to open the dream gates, and we're going to really let the dream gods come to you and reveal their messages to you. And we're going to have processing time to talk about our dreams. We're going to have dream interpreters. We're going to have a panel of the Endless.
I didn't know you had dream I'm a dream interpreter. I've been doing that for
dream interpreter.
I know you are, but I know you are, but what am I? No.
I'm Hekate. I'm Hekate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a dream ritual. Every 3 months, somebody call me, Bella, you're in my dream. I'm like, because I don't remember it. But I have powerful dream magic, and my dream interpretation is really strong. And Lola, if you want to be a part of that, you are my personal assistant. You do there's privileges that come with the responsibility.
Remember, I did the dream workshops on Sacred Cauldron, and I do dream interpretations for a lot of my clients that I do tarot readings for.
You're really good. See, what y'all don't know is if Lola had checked the box that she wanted to be on a cast, she got cast for Hekate.
See, and I didn't know that. Well, you're hearing it here. I did not know that, but I did not. But that's okay, because I was supposed to bring people to do the workshops because I enjoy it.
Everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Yes, it
does.
But
I'm just saying that would have made a lot of sense because you do the same kind of dream stuff that I do. So you can just come in and be a dream interpreter with me, and we will have us a grand time. I mean, when it comes to interpreting dreams, there'll be a lot of people with a lot to say. So we have the clans where people will be able to process in a smaller area, and then we'll have the rituals where we'll all be together and do a lot bigger work. And the coolest thing about Hekate Sickle Festival this year is that because people have been so generous in their donations for my birthday, and I've really been encouraging pagans to donate to their spiritual institutions because it is the only way that we're going to end up with the political power we need to make the world a different place. It's the only way. The reason the world is the way it is because Christians have so much money in their churches. And so I'm really encouraging people, and I'm putting in 10% of my own income right there so everybody can see it, so they'll understand that I mean this right here. I
Yes,
mean this,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So, but because of that, we have been able to just lower the price of Hekate Sickle Festival to $37 for the whole thing. No extended tiers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody can come and really be a part of community, because that's what it should be about anyway. If we had enough money, we wouldn't charge for festivals. It would just be something we all got to do.
Yes, but this is, this is ATC, and you're a church, and this is your fundraiser, and
It's a
with
fundraiser.
and with the pandemic happening, it really took a bite out of people's way to go and raise money for their spiritual,
It's been really hard for churches.
Yeah, and churches, and we're not just talking about pagan churches, we're talking about all churches, because
Oh yeah.
churches, you don't get paid to be a priestess. You don't get paid to be a minister. You do
The
it out
government
of
don't send you a check.
no. So this is how we make our money, and why not do something, rather than a bake sale, which I'm all for brownies and shit. But why? And let's do a fucking festival, and let's do it online like we've been doing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so much easier to just have everybody donate, and then you know how much money you've got, and then you can make a big difference. Hey Phil, welcome back. That was fast. That was fast. And then
our son works like 10 minutes away.
And
so
he was walking out of the building as I pulled up. So
yeah, it was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
It all works out, don't it?
It does. Yeah. So
yes.
Oh, go ahead.
I just want people to donate to whatever spiritual institutions feed them. I don't care what it is, but if that's we can't change the world unless we work together to do it. And when we go as pagans to places where there are other interfaith type situations like Church of All Worlds, they don't take us seriously. And there's only one reason why they don't take us seriously, and it's because we don't have any money to give them. They're like, donate $10,000 to the Parliament of World Religions because you're a major participating religion in it, or donate $100,000 because you're that big of a participating religion in it. And we're like, we've got 10.
Yeah.
We might could raise 100 if there was beer involved.
Well, and that's the thing about pagans is because money is important to money is important, but our priorities are different. But what I was taught was, you don't have to be a pauper to be a pagan. You don't have to be, desolate, because you don't have to get rid of your money to show your, gratitude to your gods. It's still important to have money, and we have a weird relationship with money. I talked to Mary Malinsky about this on our Witches and Wine episode.
The quote unquote poor pagan.
The poor pagan concept. Yeah. And we gotta get that out of our mindsets, is the poor pagan.
Well, and poor pagans, and also the fear of being affluent. Like, we don't know how to do it. If you don't know how to be affluent, what happens is you get a bunch of money and you blow it all. Like when people get lottery winnings, they don't change their life, they ruin their life. Like, sometimes the worst thing that can happen to you is winning $1 million. Yeah. Because then you spend it all and you can't perpetuate your income because you didn't learn how. You give me $1 million, I want to change the planet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, people are different. And I was just raised to be an entrepreneur. I was raised to handle money in a different way. And I have spent my whole life being broke because I felt like it was the noble thing to do. I was too good to make all that money. I'm too good for that shit. I'm gonna wear essential oils instead of fine perfumes, and I'm not gonna take the time to appreciate hundreds of years of research into fine perfumery. I'm gonna put patchouli oil and clove oil together, and and that's how witches are. That's how witches are. It's like we poo-poo on the wisdom of the things that we have today that are easily attainable, and then we sit around and go, oh man, I wish we had wisdom of ancient ages about aromatherapy. And I'm like, there's all these perfume counters, and yeah, it's a little bit different, but there are companies out there that share the ethics. There are companies out there that you can share ethics with and that you can work with in a greater capacity, instead of trying to, I sell you my wire wrap bead and you sell me your feather comb. And we're not making money that way.
No.
We're not making money that way.
And we live in a society where we need money, but there are also people who are millionaires that are ethical millionaires, and they spend their money on things that matter, and they donate and they do charity, and so money isn't evil. It's the fact that
it's how you use it.
It's how you use it. It's how you use your magic. It's the same concept. How you use your money equals how you use your magic as well.
It's true.
And so, yeah.
It's true.
So, yeah.
So put your money into the spiritual institutions that support your lifestyle. They need you at this time because the world is a shithole. Clink and drink.
Clink and drink. I know.
You remember that? Do you remember the Hercules song where they were like, everywhere you step, there was a mess, right?
Yeah.
They're stepping through. Well, it's like that right now out there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do something about it. We're the pagans. I mean, there's got to be a reason she called us back to the planet right now. Like in the 60s, people were like, I think I hear the goddess calling. And by the 80s, we were like, write books. Because we're, the 80s, we were all real anal and we needed everything explained out in detail with our shoulder pads.
Well, there was also a lot of cocaine in the 80s, so people got distracted because they were like, oh, I want to get into, oh shit, yeah, I'll do that line. That was me in the 90s. I had a calling to the goddess in the 90s, and then I got distracted by drugs and partying, and I was like, I'll put you on the back burner, goddess. I'm going to go to a rave, so.
See, you know what? I did all of my partying by the time I was like 23. When I met my husband at like 22, I was like, I'm done partying. I'm ready to get married and have kids. I don't want to have any more fun. I've done all the cocaine anybody's allowed to do already.
Yeah.
Like, get this party shit out of the way.
Yeah, and not purposely, it just turned out that in my 20s, I just had a really good time, and I did everything later with the marriage and the kids and the, whatnot. But what I want to also talk about is, so the endless, you were talking about that being, Hecate's, the different faces of Hekate. You are going to be Hekate this year. Can you give us a little sneak? Maybe not too much, but I mean, I haven't seen the rehearsals and whatnot, but do you have, what's her message? What's she doing? What's going on with her during this time? I know you said she's all for the technomancy and whatnot, but is there something else that stands out that you're noticing with her, talking to her, working with her? What is she saying right now? What does she want? What does she want to get across?
So they're in the process of changing the world. The world has gotten, when I did the World Love Tour, this is just part of it today. The gods are aware that the balance in humanity is so far out of kilter that the will of humans has been sacrificed, and people are so unhappy that the gods cannot enjoy the planet. Like, the gods get their happiness from our happiness and worship, Jesus, whoever, right? All of them. And that energy of elation is food to them, and we got none of it, and they know it. And the only way that they're going to be able to fix this is if they step in. And, Revelations, we're like at the end of chapter 13, right? That's the scary part with the beast. And Okay, so that's where we're at. And we all know that this is happening right now, but the real message is that you got to stay alive right now. Keep your wits together. You got to keep your wits together when you're in the dark forest. You know, you do not have time to freak out about this. Like, take an hour and then get over it, because you don't have time, and stay alive and take care of each other and figure out who you really want to be, because who we've been has gotten us here.
Yeah.
So what do we really want to do? Because if we keep doing this, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
That's the planet's gonna die. Like, it's gonna kill us all off, and then it's gonna take a long time, and the waters are gonna do their thing. But the plan is that, you know, the axes are moving. There's all these earthquakes and the fires and the floods and all of this stuff is because the pole star is moving to a different place. And the Inuits noticed it like 4 years ago. And it's just, we're moving. The planet's moving. That's why everybody's like, I don't understand what's going on. And you feel real unsettled and like everything's not going to be okay. But you don't really, you know, like, there's nothing right here. There's all this stuff way out here that you can't do anything about.
Yeah.
Right. So she wants you to take a time out and figure out who you want to be and what kind of new world we want to create. And then we want to create it together, because you know what comes next? Do you know what comes after the apocalypse?
Yeah, it's your
New beginning.
Your new beginning. It's
the millennium.
It's your new world, and it's you. I don't know what to call it.
Lays down with the lamb.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it's the Mormons call it the millennium. I don't know what other religions call it, but after this, okay, we're supposed to be in the age of Aquarius, where it's the age of the humanitarian. And according to the Bible, which I hate to quote the Bible to you, but I went to a lot of Mormon seminary, and I just know a lot of scripture. Yeah. I cheated in Bible chase, and I won because I was Christian. And if you cheat but you win for God, it's okay.
Clinking drinks and cheating for God.
I'm just kidding, but I did baby powder my Bible. But the after this, the devil's supposed to be chained for 1,000 years. Now, I think all that's symbolism. Yes. And the devil is the adversary, or the idea that there's something else making you do bad things other than you, right? And if there's nothing making you, like when you think the devil's going to be chained, do you think, oh, there's not going to be anything making me do bad things, and nobody out to get anybody on the planet? Well, as pagans, we already know that's true, right? Yeah. Like, we live in a safe universe. And as we spread that message, then isn't that putting the devil in chains?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So the millennium is happening. And if you think more about things with the second coming of Christ and what we do at Eleusis.
Yeah. That's what's happening. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Yes.
Yeah, the goddess has restored her kingdom on the planet. She's trying to get us to build her holy city. It's the kingdom of the goddess is coming back. I am working so hard to try to get money to build her holy city. We've already manifested one piece of property. Yep. We're working on the next ones. I managed to sell my house in Georgia. I don't know how that happened. Oh my goodness, y'all should see that place. I thought I was going to have to completely rebuild it. And once I get my VA loan back, then I'll be able to make a large purchase for land. And with my new Mary Kay income that the goddess gave me, Hail Hera, I may be able to purchase us a pretty good size piece of property within which we could do this. Like, I see the plan happening. I see it coming together. She's dragging me down by my hair. It's not my plan, it's hers. I just listen real good. Yeah.
You were saying that the goddess wants her kingdom on heaven or kingdom on earth and whatnot.
Kingdom of heaven on earth.
Heaven on, can you talk a little bit about what we've been doing and how we've been communicating with the Vatican? Can you just give a little bit of what's going on with that? Because that's really cool. I think that's freaking cool.
I'm gonna decide that nobody on here is gonna tell anybody else, and this is just gonna be our secret, okay?
Okay, anyone that's watching right now, it's our secret.
Don't tell anybody. This is just our secret, okay? Like, for real, all right? Don't go telling this to everybody. This is insider stuff, all right? So the goddess wants the city of Eleusis restored. Now, the city of Eleusis was the city of heaven on earth. The goddess told people how to build the city, and the goddess has been telling people how to build the city in so much as they've been calling me and going, Bella, I think I'm supposed to help you build the goddess's city. Here's all of the drawings that she's given me and shit like that. Yeah. Like, it's happening in such a degree that's really crazy. And she's sitting up there in the Hekate shrine every day, and she wants me to come and talk to her every morning. And I've been doing it, and it's been really powerful. And one of the things that she told me right after Spring Mysteries is that her stuff, her Holy May, which the Mary Malinsky told me that the Holy May means the gifts of civilization.
Yep.
We know at Eleusis, the goddess gave us the gifts of civilization. So she said that her Holy May was in Rome. And I was thinking, wouldn't it have, of course it's in Rome. They took all her shit to Rome.
Yeah, exactly.
And they built Vatican City where they did Eleusis. That's where they had Eleusis. They built up Vatican City around it because Constantine and the Council of Nietzsche, and it all just, so we're trying to get the Vatican to just tell us what they got.
Yeah.
Just tell us what they got. What you got from Eleusis that belongs to Demeter. We're not going to tell them that she wants her shit back. No. But we just want to know what they have.
Yes, because they have a lot of relics.
They do.
And so without giving out too much information, there's been somewhat communication, and there's not enough to say it's happening or not, but there has been communication.
There's been back and forth.
Yes, and it's pretty cool.
And there are professionals involved.
Yes.
Other than me. Yes. Is not really professional when it goes to that. Museum professionals involved. So it's all really exciting. It's really, really exciting. And it's hard to really talk about a whole lot of that kind of stuff because people that don't understand what we do, they don't understand. Like, you can't explain to people what happens at Eleusis because you have to experience it. You cannot tell somebody. It's an ineffable mystery. You got to go and you got to go, oh shit, this is what they're talking. It completely changed my life. I mean, I'm a zealot. Let's be honest. Yeah. I'm gung-ho goddess and have been since I was like, what do you mean there's a female deity? What, goddess? Goddess? Do you have to make the emphasis on the end? Is that an English thing? Like, how do I say this? How do I worship this being? Right? I'm all in. And the things that we have happening at the church with the pandemic is really exciting to the point of it's almost unbelievable. You know? So it's like, I don't know how much I want to tell people, Jesus. What if I'm wrong? But that's how I was at the World Love Tour. I was like, what if I'm wrong? And they're like, Bella, how long does she give you? And I was like, I don't want to say 1 year. I don't want to say 1 year. I mean, what if it's wrong? What if it's 1 year? And then it was 1 year.
And we had the pandemic, and we had everything that's going on. God, and you had validation the other day when we were talking to, I work with Bella on her radio show. And we had a wonderful, awesome guest, Witch Dr. Utu, and you got so much validation from that interview about your experiences with deity and him knowing the stories about
Marie LaVeau and Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad.
And the connection between those two, you didn't know that connection. So when Goddess speaks, she not only speaks the truth, but she educates us, and it scares us because it's something we may not have known, and we don't want to come across as like a false prophet or anything.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like in the background, you guys, in the background. Lola was there. I was like, okay, so I'm going to tell you this before we go on air because I don't know how legitimate this is. This is all prophecy. And so I don't want to sound stupid. And he was like, no, yeah, that's totally this.
He validated it, and it was really awesome. I was like, well, there you go. It's like, so when God speaks to a lot of us, we need to listen. We need to listen because she is not, or God, when God or Goddess speaks to us, we need to listen.
Well, Marie LaVeau is used to doubling up because she had a daughter. They switched off characters, right? So you never knew who Marie LaVeau is.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, that's what she does.
Yeah, exactly.
She got some wild fox magic.
It was really awesome to get that validation. So we're gonna wrap up here soon in a few minutes. I want to talk about real quick because we got to participate, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but this is easy. This is easy stuff. We got to participate with your Drunken Divination with the Seattle Psychic Association.
It was so much fun.
That was really fun.
That was awesome.
That was so fun. And talk about drunken. Oh my God. Anyway, that was the night that, anyway. I'm just gonna reveal.
Dusty threw up. Dusty doesn't ever get that drunk. I was like, hallelujah. So they gave me, you guys, Lola has taught me that when it's time to drink on the air, I pour myself a big glass and then I don't drink it. And so they gave me a brandy snifter like this size of chocolate martinis. And I do keto now, so I got no ability to soak up anything. It just goes straight into my bloodstream. My body goes, alcohol? and so I take a few drinks and I'm like, plus I got labyrinthitis, so I'm already dizzy. I'm already just holding onto my chair trying not to fall out, right?
Can you tell us?
I was the DD that night, which is so rare, but Marilyn and Dusty had themselves a really good time.
Oh, and we did too. That was fun. And so can you tell us a little bit about the Seattle Psychic Association and Drunken Divination? I want to ask you, Drunken Divination, is that, did you guys start that at Pantheacon, or?
We started that at Pantheacon, which no longer exists because,
Yeah.
And we had it started out as Tipsy Tarot. We were going to serve vodka and Kool-Aid because you have to pay for it yourself. I mean, you don't get a budget from the Vatican. We are the Vatican. Bella is the Vatican for Wicca. And that doesn't pay well. So we're at Drunken. We've already had to pay for a suite, which is $1,500. And then we have to pay for our own hotel for everybody to be down there, which is not in the DoubleTree because that's too expensive. We're staying down the street, right? And so we're going to do this. And this guy shows up and he's like, I want to be a part of the ATC and I want to be helpful. And we're like, okay, well, we're doing this Tipsy Tarot thing. And he went, what are we serving? And we told him and he went, no, I'm going to go to the store. So this guy goes to the store and he brings back so much liquor that our bathroom was so full of liquor at the hotel. He filled up 2 bell carts with liquor and pop. And we were the party. I mean, we were the fucking, it was free. It was all the free alcohol you could drink. And we were trashed. Yeah. And we had people threw up out in the hallway outside it was a go. We crashed the sim, Lola. It was great. Yes. It was great. And at Pantheacon, that's saying something because that's the political festival, right?
Yeah.
And so he bought so much alcohol that we still have some. And that was like 4 years ago.
Holy crap. So that's how
we did 2 other Drunken Divinations off of that alcohol.
Oh my gosh.
And it is so much. So he was a really, really kind soul. And he's not with us right now in the church because he's going through some other stuff that, you know, the courts like to dig into people's business and they think that there's something wrong with us. And if we all donated money and had judges on the bench, they'd quit that shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't mean to get political, but
it's all good.
What's her name? Phyllis Carrot told us in 2005 when she came to PSG. She said, when fascism comes to the United States of America, it's going to be wrapped up in red, white, and blue bunting, and everybody's going to eat it up.
Oh, wow.
And that we needed to all get involved in our political offices then.
Yeah.
And we've watched it happen, and I hate to say it, but you know, witches know what's going to happen in the future, and somebody should listen to folks.
I gotta pee, but Phil's gonna continue talking to you because I'm gonna pee my pants.
Oh no, don't do that.
Oh,
that's really that's really unpleasant on a couch.
So with this, so everyone has an idea of what we're talking about. There is a group of certified psychics that get together and offer group divinations while they're intoxicated. And what people
I didn't answer the question.
Yes. So I was...
Okay, I'll answer the question. I'm sorry, Phil. I told you I just had a little bitty bit, and the keto, it goes straight to my head. The Seattle Psychics Association is my brainchild. I have been trying to pull this off for a decade, and Namir LaVeau is brilliant and a leader of people, and she's managed to bring together a bunch of psychics that are of all kinds. They're not ATC members necessarily. They're everywhere. They're not necessarily Wiccan. They're just everywhere, and certify them to a code of ethics, right? And ability, because when you get a reading from a psychic, you want to know that somebody's vetted this person. You know, you ever got a reading from a psychic and you were not okay for like weeks, like they really mess you up? So we have classes and training for these psychics, and so we do events for them to get out their services to the public and for them to find, you know, clients. And Drunken Divination is about getting a reading from a drunk psychic, a little bit drunk, and it's a lot of fun because wine is truth serum, as Lola says, right? So I apologize for not answering the question. Seattle Psychics Association spot
in truth and wine.
Yes.
I'm back.
And so they were kind enough to reach out to us here on Witches and Wine and ask us to join them on the most recent one.
Yeah.
And so after we had our coven ritual.
Yeah, we had a ritual.
We were able to rejoin them and participate in the last little bit, and we actually posted it on the channel.
Yeah, we did the last 30 minutes.
From us joining. We put it up on the channel, so you guys can check that out. Tons of fun. You may see some of those people on there as future guests on Witches and Wine.
Yes, because we want Marilyn.
Yeah,
she was fun.
She seemed like a hoot. So like we need to have her on here.
She's a lot of fun. I got to talk to her today. She's a brilliant priestess.
And let me tell you, this is a first for Witches and Wine that your hostess had to run and go pee. Like I was holding it, but I couldn't hold it anymore. So did you talk about Seattle Psychic Association?
I did. He got me to answer the question.
You did good. Oh, he does good. He does good. So is there anything else we're going to wrap it up here. Is there anything else you want to talk about? You want to promote? Why don't you give us all the links for all the stuff?
ATCWicca.org has a lot of information for how you can participate online during this weird time that we're in. Mm-hmm. And we have morning devotionals, and we have activities all the time. We have weekend rituals, and of course the school wiccanseminary.edu has events on there as well that are fun. And then there's fellowship halls like the Mystic Smoking Table where you can just go and talk to people, and it's kind of fun, right? And then we have Wiccan Seminary's new quarter is starting on the 1st of October.
It is.
Yeah. So be sure you sign up for that. Now we've moved off of Second Life. We still have our Second Life property, Sacred Cauldron, but it's more of a 24-hour festival, all pagans all the time kind of place now. And we've moved our school to Teams. So it's kind of this kind of a format where you're looking at your teacher and you can see your classmates and everybody gets to talk and just be in real time, as well as the rituals are too. So because we figured, you know, people want to do this. They want to see real faces and they want to participate all the time. So that's what we're doing. And it's been really great. I miss people, but I've been more connected with people than I normally would have because, you know, you cut out sans driving time, right?
Right. Yeah. And we get, especially at these festivals too. I mean, we're getting, I'll tell you who some of the guests we've got. We've got Diana Paxson. We've got Jason Mankey. We've got Oberon Zell, Ed Hubbard. We've got,
we have concerts from musicians.
We have S.J. Tucker. We got Mama Gina. We got a new guy that we freaking love. Cloud the Pagan Rapper is going to party with us live.
Oh my God.
We've got, I mean, we got Don Lewis. We've got so many great workshops. We've got great rituals coming up. We've got, I mean, it's really interactive. And you don't have to be a fan of Star Trek to do it because let me tell you, I am not a Trekkie. I am a Star Wars fan. You know how it goes, Star Wars fan versus Trekkie?
There's a lot of stars in the clans this year. Yeah, Star Wars, Star Trek,
we've got
Gate, and then Firefly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so...
Now, you love Firefly, don't you?
I have actually never seen Firefly.
I'm actually a Stargate fan, personally.
He's a Stargate fan,
Stargate, the ancient.
I'm all about the Star Wars stuff, but I'm old school Star Trek too. So I mean, I'm like William Shatner Star Trek.
Oh my God! Now we're gonna have to throw down because we know that Captain Picard is the only person who can actually run a goddamn Starfleet.
This is true. This is true. Engage.
If Kirk couldn't hump him, they had no value to him.
Yes, yeah. Captain Kirk, if he couldn't hump him, whatever.
Oh, he was adorable for his time. But you know, the thing about it is that science fiction has given so much to the world of pagans. I got interested in deities and mythologies and crazy places where I can run around half naked from Conan comic books. Right?
Mine was a lot of the Dragonlance series, as well as carrying over in Forgotten Realms. I really got into the Drow deity concepts and the different gods of the Drow and how they correlate with a lot of paganism and deity concepts.
And he was reading that shit before he decided, or before he knew he was pagan. So when he did the transition to pagan and different deities, he's like, this is like my science fiction books. And that's my nerd voice for him. This is like my science fiction books.
Well, yeah, just because I wasn't reading vampire erotica like others.
Okay, I was reading vampire erotica.
My little 16-year-old heart wanted to dress up in very skimpy clothes with lots and lots of jewelry and be a dancing girl in a temple somewhere and have big muscular men and swords come in and I don't know what after that because I was 16. But that's where I was.
We know, and you know what you wanted them to do. And what is Hekate? Where can they find information about Hekate Sickle?
Sickle.atcwicca.org. If you can remember ATC and Wicca, atcwicca.org will get you to all our online properties.
And
Sickle.me will also take you there.
I'm gonna put all the links in our description for the YouTube. So, and oh my goodness, we are so excited. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, Bella. You are our favorite guest.
I love you, Lola.
We have such a good time together, and yes. So. Before we go, I want to let everyone know if you are interested in being. Oh, and by the way, we've got some great guests coming up. Next week. We've got Stacia,
my best friend.
Yes, and she is
of the ATC.
Yep. She's coming up next week along with Skyfae. We're going to talk to her what it's like to organize these festivals because she's been doing it and it's been a different kind of thing for her because she's doing it all online now, and she does such a wonderful job. And then we also have from the Corellian tradition and from Pagan Information Network, we have Aisha. I never could say her last name. Aisha.
Aisha Bosherman. Aisha Bosherman.
I never can say her last name. We have her coming up. I think we've got
We've got an assortment of guests.
we have a bunch of guests coming up. So if you want to be a guest on our show, or you know someone that would love to be a guest on our show, or you just want to ask us questions, you can email us at
crossroadscoven@gmail.com.
What was that again?
That's crossroadscoven@gmail.com.
So everyone, please remember, be kind to one another and always walk with the goddess. And until next time, blessed be. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Bella. We love you.
Thank you. Blessed be.
Blessed
Love
be.
you.
Love you.
Have a wonderful evening.